News in the Israeli-Hamas war. Hamas, as you may have heard by now, has released 2 American hostages. Just in the last 30 minutes, we have learned their names. WRAL's Chris Lovingood joining us now with more. Chris.
You know, the hostages being released actually happened within the last hour, Dan, and we finally know who they are. This is Judith Renan and her daughter, 17-year-old daughter, Natalie. They're from Evanston, Illinois. The Israeli military says they were released near the border with the Gaza Strip, and the 2 were taken to a military base in Israel to be reunited with their family. The 2 women are relatives of former NBC correspondent Martin Fletcher, and he says they were in Israel visiting their grandmother for their 85th birthday when they were kidnapped.
The last that my 2 family members were seen was hands tied and being dragged away towards Gaza by the terrorists. So that's the last anybody heard of them. And now there's this news that maybe they're the mother and daughter who have been released. I mean, what a miracle for one family, and many more families waiting for a similar miracle.
Now, that was Martin Fletcher being interviewed live during the NBC News special reports that aired on WRAL today. Israeli military leaders say roughly 200 people are being held hostage by Hamas, and most of them are alive. NBC's Richard Engel says the release of specific information about the hostages could indicate the Israeli government has been given proof of life. In a couple of minutes, we'll get you caught up to speed on the other developments happening in the Israel-Hamas war. But I can tell you, Dan, in a few minutes ago, we have learned that Secretary of State Antony Blinken said there are 10 other Americans unaccounted for in regards to the hostage situation. So we're going to keep looking into this story as it continues to develop.
Of course. All right, Chris, thank you.
Right now, Israeli politicians are beginning to share what a ground invasion into Gaza would look like, as humanitarian aid is on the verge of being allowed to enter the heavily bombed Gaza Strip. Mike Valerio has the latest.
Blasts cut through the darkness of the occupied West Bank as Israel Defense Forces search for alleged Hamas operatives. Israel is now warning a ground invasion of Gaza is imminent.
Our troops are ready, equipped, prepared, and armed with both ammunition and a clear mission.
The European Union is now concerned the war will overflow into other parts of the world.
The risk of a regional spillover is real. And this is exactly what Hamas was hoping to achieve. And this can derail the recent and historic rapprochement between Israel and its Arab neighbors.
Now, with fears of a humanitarian crisis in Gaza spiraling out of control, Egypt has opened the gates to the Rafah crossing. Crews are repairing and repaving roads as humanitarian aid vehicles sit and wait to enter.
The shortages are going to kill many people. It's absolutely life or death at this point.
Israel reports around 200 hostages are in the Gaza Strip, including bodies of dead loved ones being held for ransom. A majority of the hostages are believed to be alive.
All people abducted by Hamas and Islamic Jihad and in Gaza, they have to be unconditionally and immediately released. Holding hostages this way is a war crime.
I'm Mike Valerio reporting.